Hey there, game makers, and welcome to the B route, so the alternative route of making inventories. This is just applying if you want to have a fixed way of making an inventory. What does that entail? What does it mean? Well, for example, if you just have one item which you can just have or not have, it has always the same slot position and you can just collect it once or unlock it once. The same goes for the other ones, and then, well, that's pretty much it. So you just flag them as collected or not collected, and this is the way that goes. And of course you want to have them in kind of a grid structure here, which we're going to discuss in short also. So if you want to do that, which is of course limited in the easiest way, then this video is for you. For all the other ones which want to have it a little bit more dynamic, then you can completely cancel this one out here because this does not apply to you. Or maybe you want to see how we handle this one for GameMaker. In any case, if you want to continue watching, then, well, stick around. This is OneUp Indie. I am a developer, so if you like what you're seeing and hearing, then why not consider sharing, liking, and subscribing to the channel? Well, of course. Alright, so we are back in GameMaker, and just for context, so once again, what is a fixed structure? This is what it's fixed, so basically everything is unique. Fixed position, fixed text, for example, what it means. This is what we're going to do in the next one, so this will apply in the upcoming videos. Here we just want to draw them in specific positions and, well, just find out how we can do it the fastest, the cleanest, the easiest way possible. So for now we just went downwards and downwards. Now we need to go, well, sideways, and at some point break and start. Oh, this is gonna look messy. Yeah, it does look messy. This is, for example, yeah, this is how we're gonna do. So for example, once we hit, let's say 1 2 3 4, number 5, after 5, well, we jump to the next line. Here we will just go after 4 entries and then we break it. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to define, well, now more or less a grid structure in our inventory. I just changed all of them to controller fixed, inventory fixed, the pickup item fixed, and then of course the script to add one to fixed, just so you see like, hey, this is the alternative version. So for example, here I just placed the fixed guy here, the fixed inventory here, and then, well, those money bags in red for the fixed pickup item. So the first thing which we need to add and check out is to have an additional, well, not just going down slot variable, also one which is going to the right, so an X version. Basically, since, well, the images are, well, width and height basically the same, so we can just, copy paste the code. And then this is what we left off last time. Here, of course, this is a little bit not so good, because now we need to define at which point, for example, are we at position 4, then we need to break. And then we need to break. So how do we do this thing? And then we just for now have no entries. So we want to draw the GUI, well, empty backgrounds here. So how can we do this the easiest way? Well, first of all, we need to redefine how we do this dude here. So how do we do that? Well, kind of easy. So let's say we want to break at some point. Well, then what do? We just have a thing which I just define as a rest value. So let's say, for example, this is the modular sign. So basically the rest value. So if the rest is definitely 0, then great. Then we jump to the next line, and then, for example, and if not, well, we just continue increasing a value which I call AA here. So how does that look like? Well, I just copy paste the code in here, hopefully not too difficult. So basically this is what we're gonna do here and here, and just add AA. So for the first entries, so it's gonna be I0, cool. Then we have a slot 0, then it will be 1 2 3, which is great. And then we got number 4, then it's like, oh, then we reset the AA value, and then we go one line down. For now we are not going one line down, it's just basically resetting and then, drawing 4 slots and then going back. So now we need to define how we do the Y value. This is kind of easy also. For that I have once again a variable YY, which we input now here. For now it's going to be just on one line. But if we, for example, say like, hey, is our dude, our I value, which we iterate all the time, bigger than 3, then we are on the next line. And then if we are even above 7, then we are next line. And then if we are above 11, then we are even in the furthest line. So let's, for example, draw and see how that looks like. Yeah, but it does it correctly. So I'm not going to bothering here. So there's a little error because of my doing, but it's not that bad. So here, for example, what we are seeing right now, this does works, and then it has the ID or the index here of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then going up to 11. This is what we wanted. This is what we are actually drawing as a text here. So basically just we know like, hey, where at which slot position are we? This is important later on, well, to grab the values. So let's go into our code and fix a few things. So first of all, fixed inventories are doing is having everything, well, predetermined. So here, this is what I did. I just basically said like, hey, all the items just with one sprite attached are just getting created upfront, so they do exist, and that's pretty much it. And then we just add a little thing which we didn't have. So was the item collected? So this is baked into it as well. And then we're just saying like, hey, cool, if the item was collected, then we can draw it. If it's not, for example, collected, well, we don't draw it. So how do we do that? Kind of easy. So first of all, we need to grab the array or the sprite or whatever you want to call that. We just say like, hey, let's get the sprite which we want to draw from the specific position of our array. So get SPR. This is what we did the last time. Now just, you know, it was fixed. And then we just draw the dude the same as here. So get SPR. And now you will see, it's getting a little bit messy, that all the stuff is getting drawn. Come on, why is it doing that? Is my graphics card dying? Hopefully not. Let's try that again. And as you can see, all of them are here, which is great. But of course, we want to say like, hey, we want to unlock them some sort of. Okay, so then we just check like, hey, if, once again, on this thing, have we unlocked it? So here, was it collected or unlocked or triggered to true? So for example, if it's true, then please draw our sprite. If not, well, nothing is happening. It will be just, you know, well, ignored because it's an if statement. So for now, once we started, then nothing is getting shown. So how do we do that? Well, we go now into our fixed controller, and then we had here once again our, you know, mouse click stuff from the last video, basically the same thing. And then now we just say add item fix. This is the newest script which I used, and here that is a little bit different. So what do? We just say like, hey, we need to flag it as collected. So for example, once again, for just recapping, we're just going onto one of those items here, clicking on them, and they have an ID attached to it, which I'm gonna discuss in a few seconds. And then this ID is getting passed in here, and this ID is corresponding with, well, the array's index position. And then we just say like, hey, this item here, number 12, number 10, number 6, number 1, number 0, it's collected right now. And if it's collected, well, cool, then our inventory is then saying like, is it collected? Yes, and then it's being drawn. And that's pretty much it. So just let's go into our objects, the money bag here. Here just we are drawing inventory ID. So basically this is the number which is corresponding with the, well, item fixed in our controller, in our inventory system. And I assigned it, like, there are different ways how you can do this, of course. In the creation code, just saying like, hey, inventory ID 3. It's of course not scalable. Nice. So this has 3, and this has what is it, 5, and so on. And then once we click on it, well, we destroy it. So what do we do? Well, we just go here, click on that dude, grab from the instance our, how did I call it? Inventory ID. So we just pass that in with a dot, of course. Go on. And that, of course, is corresponding with our inventory. And then we just flag it as a switch, just flag it to true because on default it's on off. So let's check it out if it does work. So as you can see, they are not, well, have not been collected recently. So we just click on it and now it's collected. And that's all the magic. So basically the whole system just works out of the box like this. And then, well, it's kind of easy. And then later on, you just need to define, hey, how is that stuff being, you know, updated or collected? So if you just go over it, if there's a shrine, if you beat an enemy, or if you have to click on it, you know, depending on what kind of function your inventory has. That's pretty much it. Oh yes, under 20 minutes, that's good. Alrighty, that was it then for this alternative route. Hopefully not too difficult. So once again, each item here just has an ID as assigned to it. And then, for example, once we click on it, this ID corresponds with the slot number here, which is then the same. And then it's just saying like, hey, flag it as collected. And if it's flagged as collected, well, we are drawing it. And this is the only, you know, mechanism, just one little tiny number, just getting passed around and then boom. Well, you got yourself a super fixed inventory system, which does work well for most games. Alrighty, that was it then from my side. Have a good one. One up indie.